Okay, so today's lesson, we're doing addition and subtraction for this unit. Yay, happy stuff. But this one is specifically using mental math, meaning we are not writing anything out to work out a problem. Doesn't mean we're not writing things though. We are, we're just using different ways. So I need you to stick with me because this is kind of complicated. Okay? When we are adding, when we add using mental math, we are going to start with the biggest. This will make sense. And break apart the smallest. Then we add. Now, when we subtract, we're going to start with the smallest and count up to the biggest. Then we add. I know that sounds weird. It will make sense in a little bit. Just bear with me, okay?
Okay.
So let's start with our first example of when we add. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with 135 plus 48. When we add, we start with the biggest and break apart the smallest. So here's what I'm going to do. I start with the biggest, which is 135. I'm going to put it in a box like this, 135. And then I put a box around it. We start with the biggest and we break apart the smallest. So 48 is going to be broken apart. Now here's the trick. I have to be kind of sneaky about how I break it apart. My goal here is to make this as easy as possible. And what is the easiest kind of math? When I'm adding with zeros. Anything adding a 0 to? No problem, right?
Yeah.
It's just whatever it is. So my goal is to turn numbers into zeros as much as I can. So if I take 48, first, I'm going to break it apart and take 5 off of it. I'm going to add on 5, and I put another box around that 5. Now, 135 plus 5 becomes 140. Now I'm left with 43. Right? Because I took the 5 away from the 48. So what's left is 43. And I can handle that. I can do 140 plus 43 in my head because I know that 4 plus 4 is 8 and 3 plus 0 is 3. So 140 plus 43 is 183. And that is my answer. 183. Now, it's confusing right now, I know. The more we do it, the easier it's going to get, I promise. So we're going to keep going, okay? Let's try another. Actually, let me show you subtraction now. And then we'll go into more practice, okay? Now, subtraction. When we subtract, we start with the smallest, we count up to the biggest, and then we add. Let me show you what I mean by that. So let's say I'm going to do 400 minus 165. Okay. So if I've got 400 minus 165. Start with the smallest and count up to the biggest. So here's what I do. I make myself another little box chart, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I start with the biggest right here, 400, and I draw a line underneath it to show that everything that I draw underneath it will equal 400. Stay with me. I see a lot of deer in the headlights. It's okay. Deep breaths. You're going to be okay, I promise.
What?
So, I start with the smallest, which is 165. I'm going to put it in a box, 165. Now is when I'm going to pull out my red to help my brain realize that I'm doing the subtraction part. Whenever I am subtracting, if I were to be given, what's 7 minus 5? What I do is I count up. I go, okay, so 5, 6, 7. The difference is 2. We're going to do the same thing here. Now, I am not going to sit here and go, okay, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171, 172, 170. You do not want me to sit here and do that, and I sure do not want to sit here and watch you do that. We'll be here all day. But it's that idea that we're following, okay? So, I'm trying to get 165 all the way up to 400. My first step, once again, zeros. Zeros are happiness. Zeros are where we want to be. So I'm going to add 5. 165 plus 5 becomes 170. I'm trying to get to 400. So you know what? I want to make even more zeros. More zeros is more happiness. So what should I add to 170 to make it get another 0 in there? What should I add? Emily, what should I add?
You can add 30.
I'm adding 30. Because 170 plus 30 becomes 200. Well, I'm seeing light bulbs. Good. I need to get to 400. If I'm at 200 now, what should I add to 200 to make it 400, everybody?
200.
Yes. Okay, and then 200 plus 200 is 400. So you see, this is how I have started with the smallest, 165, that's the smallest number, and I am counting up to the biggest, which is 400. Then we add. Okay, here's what I mean by that. I have to add up all of these to tell me how much I counted up, okay? Because I did it bit by bit. So I need to add 200 plus 30 plus 5, which is
235.
235. So 400 minus 165 is 235. We getting there? You starting to understand a bit more?
Yes.
We're going to keep going. Okay, so let's try another addition together. You will also notice that there should have been some new pens on your table. Different colored flowers or regular pens. One of them's got a feather. Those are red pens. You may use those red pens in your notes to help you with the subtraction part. I will let you know when you can use them. Here we go. So let's do number 1, which is 86 plus 25. Number 1, 86 plus 25. I write it, you write it. if I'm writing in red, you're writing in red. If I'm writing in my green, you're writing in pencil. Okay? The red is only for subtraction. This is an addition problem. We're not going to need red this time. So with addition, I start with the biggest. And I break apart the smallest. So in this case, I'm going to be breaking apart the 25. 86 goes in a box. My goal is to get zeros, right? So what should I add to 86 to get a 0? What should I add? 4. That 4 came out of that 25. What's 25 minus 4?
21.
21. Now, 86 plus 4 is 90. I have two options here. I can do 90 plus 21, or I can make my brain even happier and do 90 plus 10, which is 100. And 100 plus 11, which is 111. So 86 plus 25 is 111. We're going to keep going. So let's do number 2. Let's not do number 2. What does number 2 say? What does number 2 say? 497 plus 0. Guys, what is 497 plus 0?
497.
Thank you. We're not going to write that down. All right, so let's try subtraction 1. Number 3. Don't use the red pen yet. When I write in red, you write in red. The one with the feather is.
Whoa. There's blue.
Bummer.
Yeah, the blue ones are anyone.
Okay, so 566 minus 359. Get the flour from their bucket. That's a red one.
The red.
Okay, 566 minus 359. So when I subtract, I start with the
Big, smallest.
smallest and I count up to the biggest. So I'm going to write 566 is the biggest. That's what I'm counting up to. I'm going to draw my line and I write in 359. And I put a box in. 359 is counting up to 566. Now, here's another goal that we have. Our first goal is to always have zeros. That makes it easier. The second goal is to match our numbers. If this is 566, then I want to get to a 66 because then all I got to do is add 100. So now is when I take my pen, my red. 359 plus 1 becomes 360. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to get to 66, so now what am I going to add?
6.
6. Because 360 plus 6 is 366. Notice how I'm writing the new number underneath to help my brain keep up with what I'm doing. Now I need to get 366 to become 566. So how much do I need to add? 200, because 3 plus 2 is 5. So 300 plus 200 is 500. So I'm adding 200, which now gives me 566. Am I done?
No.
No, because now I need to add up. Then we add 200 plus 6 plus 1. What's 200 plus 6 plus 1?
206.
Ah, it's catching you. It's not 216. It's not 261.
207.
So what I do is I go, what's 200 plus 6? 206. What's 206 plus 1? 207. Okay? That is going to get you.
So it goes one more?
I'm adding each one up. This is a 6. This is a 1. I could even go, okay, well, 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 200 is 207. Okay?
I feel like I get it.
Are we starting to feel a little bit better?
Yes.
We're going to keep going.
Is it okay if you use black pen?
The red is going to help you see the difference of what's happening here. All right, let's do another one. It's another subtraction. So this one's number 4. 169 minus 48. So I start with the smallest and count up to the biggest. So I'm going to put 169 and then draw a line underneath it to show that I am trying to get to 169. That is my end result. And I put 48 in the box. First goal. Hang on now. In this case, do I want to get it to the tens or do I want to match that place value? I might want to match that place value. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, 48 to then to 69, I have to make sure that I keep my brain nice and happy because this is all supposed to be super easy. So if I just add 1, that will give me 49, right?
Yeah.
I need to get it to 69. So 49 to 69 is adding how much?
20.
49, 59, 69. I'm adding 20. So 49 plus 20 becomes 69. To get 69 to become 169, how much am I adding?
100.
100. Good. And now I have 169. Am I done? No, because now I need to add. 100 plus 20 is 120. 120 plus 1 is 121. Once again, guys, there's a reason that I keep asking you to write one number per square because that will also help you see the place value. If I go back here, there's only one box for 6. There's only one box for 1. So those are both ones. They're both in the ones place value. But here has 3 boxes for my 3 digits to show that there's 100. That's why, guys, I'm not just being some crazy person that wants a number in a box. There is method to my madness. All right. Number 5, it's an addition one. 239. 239 plus 509. We're doing addition. 239 plus 509. In addition, I start with the biggest and I break apart the smallest. So in this case, I'm going to start with 509 and put that in a box. One number per square to show it's in the hundreds. And now I'm going to break apart 239. Now, technically, I would want to start by zeroing this out. But this isn't the subtraction, so I'm not going to try and match the place values this time. I'm not counting up. I'm taking 239 and breaking it down. Okay? So, first off, how about I take away that 1 and add in the 1, and it becomes 510. Now I'm left with 238, right? Well, maybe I can add that 38. You think I could do that? Add 38 to 510? I could do that. So 510 plus 38 becomes 548. Okay, so now I've gotten rid of the entire 39. Here's 38, 39. So I'm left with only 200. So now I'm going to add my 200. See? Look, look, look. The 9, the 39, here's 38, and the 1. That makes 39. So I have used all of this, and all I have left is 200. 548 plus 200. What's 5 plus 2?
7.
7. So 500 plus 200 is 700. So 548 plus 200 is 748. Am I done?
Yes.
Yes. That's it. That's all I have to do. So my answer is 748. Addition in this way is honestly a little bit trickier because now you're taking this number and breaking it down. If I were to add this back up, 200 plus 38 is 238 plus one more is 239. So what I've done here has to equal this number.
Okay.
This is the same thing here. If I were to turn number 4 into an addition problem, it would be 121 plus 48 equals 169, right? So in this case, 48 and 121 broken down into 1, 20, and 100 is the same thing. Except instead of finding what I'm adding, I'm now finding what my answer is. So here, it's showing 238, break it down into more manageable numbers, and we go from there. Okay?